How's it going, guys? This is Tom with Breakless TV, back with another coaching replay review. So this time it's going to be focused on Pocket. This is a Ritualist lobby, and they said that they had a really good lane, and they're struggling a little bit in team fights, kind of positioning, as well as some movement and stamina management. So we'll try to take more of a look at that. One thing that I would like to note is they actually start off this game in lobby asking for a lane switch to solo, which two things for that. First off, I really like it. If that's your comfort spot and you think you're going to perform better in there, excellent, go for it. This is a great choice. The only thing I don't like about this here is Mo and Krill actually struggles against Infernus. And the biggest thing is just his head is so large that it makes building up Afterburn really easy on Mo and Krill. So I just don't like that lane for Mo and Krill, but if Mo and Krill's happy with it, you know, that's not a problem. Alright, we're back. So the solo lane, yeah, I kind of like pushing a little bit more aggressively, getting these minions on, making sure you have them all. 7's pretty weak early. Yeah, and then, you know, so that roll away and that roll away there behind cover, you're already behind cover. If you're going to be aggressive on him, don't be scared to be aggressive on him, you know. Hide behind that cover, save that stamina, and then if he aggresses on you, you don't have to worry about it.
Spirit's free.
Okay, so you got 3 damage amp here. Yeah, I'm run at him, absolutely. You're using a lot of heavy melee here, and you had full ammo, so I don't know if that's a confidence issue with shooting your gun, but just be really careful with how much heavy melee you're using. This 7 doesn't necessarily punish it there, but as you get higher up, you know, you get parried once there, you lose the fight, even though with your 3 damage amp, you should have won that pretty easily. Alright, so I would like you to buy a big healing item here to stay in lane. Excellent. Great choice. Ammo scavenger, totally good and fine. I probably would have went for something a little bit more aggressive. I think you could really try to bully this 7. He's such a weak laner most of the time that you know, maybe Mystic Burst or Hollow Point Ward would have been maybe a slightly better choice, but I don't mind ammo scavenger at all if you're using it. It's a great item on Pocket. Okay, we got 2 damage amp stacks. I want to see you run in on them. Clear these minions up, make sure you're not missing the last hits, but yeah, that, you know, that's totally fine. Trying to use the zip line for a little bit of momentum, but you didn't have the your barrage up. But you know, good awareness, thinking about it. This is just gonna be kind of a calmish lane, unless you decide you wanna do something about this. You know, this 7. First off, he's already died once, but also he's not gonna push you. There's no real reason for that. Good job using that zip line to get the barrage up. Looks like you either misclicked there, or maybe just made the wrong decision. So when you teleport to your flying cloak while you're in your satchel, you will get the explosion at where you teleported to. So you probably should have just teleported to your ghost there and blown him up. But I mean, obviously you got the kill, not a big deal, but just something to think about.
I don't know what that does, but my kid says all the mystics are
Mystic Reach. Oh, interesting. It's showing me the comments. So I think I kind of like burst there a little bit better than the reach. It's not, but you know, either way, you're doing just fine. It's a really great choice. What would be nice here is, I'm not sure if this camp, if he did it or not. Yeah, that camp's up. If you could bully him and then take his camp, that could be kind of nice. and kind of a 7 specific thing here, but you know, Ivy or whatnot is similar. You probably could have just taken that stun. You probably could have hid behind the wall and just taken it, and then had the satchel up for if he tried to fight you. But I kind of like just getting into cover there and keeping your satchel up for the damage, because he can't aggress on you at this point. You're so much stronger than him that I think if he would have tried to come around the corner and fight you, he would have been in big trouble. You're doing a lot of unnecessary rolling around here in lane. And it might be a just trying to stay active and keep moving thing. And this I like a lot better. Just getting out of there completely, going back to buy. But yeah, once again, you probably could have just you're just only because you're so far ahead, you probably could have just tanked that and then turned on him. But I don't mind the safety at all. Doing a good job getting these last hits. Doing a good job staying ahead. Now, if you're pushing these camps, or if you're pushing the lane good, trying to do his little camp could be good. If you're too scared of him, you know, coming back and doing this big camp is pretty quick. It's just the 4 little minions and the 1 medium minion. Obviously, don't lose any of your lane creeps for it, but I would like to see you do that, especially if you're using healing right, because the jungle camps won't take healing right off of you. So, you know, if you're going to heal, you typically won't take that much damage from that creep. Okay, I like you going in and using your tagging him with your ult there, and good job just not overcommitting to that. I think typically, you know, Pocket lands that ult and then they want to go in and get that kill, but you got what you wanted. He's out of lane. You know, he's got to either go back or die to one shot. Doesn't have a healing right, so could heal up from it, but it's not happening. And he's back, but you used his speed. Let me swap over to Amber's point of view. Yeah, you used his speed, which is a pretty valuable resource, and it's got a really, really long cooldown. So that's a win. Even if it doesn't, you know, felt like he just came back right away. That was a huge win.
You can't stop me.
Be careful, you know, trying to use the zip line a little bit too much. Make sure you have an idea of what's going on in the lane. Take a look into the lane first, and then go for that. But this is kind of what I'm talking about with that stun. I mean, a little bit of a misplay there, where you should relax a little bit more. When he throws that stun on you, it's, you know, you have a ton of time. But, you know, you saw you took that stun and you kind of didn't use your abilities quite so perfectly, but you're so far ahead of him, it didn't matter. You could just be tanking those stuns, and then if he decides to fight you, he loses, and if he walks away, then, you know, you still have your satchel up. I would have kept that 1 minion, so on those camps, they only start respawning if they have all the minions dead. Them having 1 minion there is actually pretty bad for them. But this has been kind of, as we get more to the close of laning phase, this has been excellent Pocket gameplay. You obviously spend a lot of time with this character. This is easily one of the top 3 hardest characters in the game, if not the hardest, kind of, you know, depending who you ask. So this has been excellent. Like taking this camp here. I would like to see you get those crates in that jar there as well. Obviously, the lane minions are the most important, but don't sleep on those. They're, you know, if those crates pop and they drop a soul, it's worth, I think, more than a lane minion, and they scale really, really well as time goes on in the game. So don't sleep on these crates. This is excellent objective here, where you're just like sitting here not doing anything. Sitting here not doing anything, but there's like a crate back there you could grab. I don't like this. Just okay. Unless you notice that that Wraith has left this lane, just be a little bit careful about going in on this this 7 at this point. You know, really take a look at the map and see who's here and who's not. Especially like this Geist can teleport over at this point, so just be really careful, you know, with everyone on the map and what's going on. But awesome job pushing your advantage. You know,
This is how I stayed alive.
you're handling the 7 quite well. And I just kind of like pushing here.
Our yellow guardian has been.
Yeah, see, Pocket is definitely in for, this is mostly for the non-Pocket players, obviously. Jadow here knows this. Pocket has this kind of knowledge check when you're laning against him. This barrage, every time he hits a character with it, he gets a damage amp. So if you're in lane against the Pocket and you get hit by this barrage, you should not fight him under any circumstances. He is way stronger than you expect him to be. So don't get surprised by that. If he gets, you know, 2 or 3 hits with this barrage, be extremely careful. If I am in a dual lane against the Pocket, I will call out to my lane partner, hey, I just got hit by barrage, you know, 3 stacks of barrage, don't fight him. Because it really is that important.
Letting out the spirits.
You're really far ahead, so you know, the push up is kind of nice, but obviously you gotta look at your map a little bit more. I'm not sure when this, I wasn't looking very well, honestly, but this furnace was off the map, and he's, you know, in this lane next to you, so ideally you should spot that. And that's a little aggressive, so there was no reason to barrage there. You weren't gonna continue that fight. You were so low that you should have just gotten out of there. So whether you got 4 stacks or not, it didn't matter. And that damage, you know, the barrage damage is nothing, basically. So you should have just packed it up and ran there. When you get really ahead, it can be really easy to get a little overconfident and want to fight more because you're so strong. But really, this Infernus, and he got a lot of souls from killing you and taking that Guardian, but the Infernus was doing okay, and you should have just packed it up and ran there. But not a big deal. I like you coming back to your lane, clearing it. I would like to see you push just a couple more waves here. You could come and try to help this Geist kill, but there's 3 people there. There's no need. And I just kind of like hanging out in lane and, you know, trying to push this Walker. You're so strong in like a 1v1 type setting that, you know, if one person comes to stop you, they can't really. If 2 people come to stop you, you're really slippery and can get away. But so they got 3 people over here. We got Infernus, Abrams, doing their camp. When you do their camp, I'd like to see you leave 1 minion alive just to stop that respawn. It's not worth that many souls, but stopping the respawn can be big. And here, I like that you're kind of trying to flex your how much money you have. But first off, you underestimated his Abrams. He's bigger than you at this point. You know. And again, another really easy mistake of you did really well in lane, you're feeling really large, but that's not the whole scope of the game. Really, and you had a lot of time there. When you saw that Abrams, you should have looked at his net worth and seen that he was that much ahead of you. Maybe you had some comms with this Mo and Krill, but just be careful about that. The other thing is you would have been much further ahead and better off if you just stayed in this right lane and pushed. Also here, I don't think necessarily you have to come in here and fight. The 2 people under this Walker were doing just fine. There's no reason that they should lose that Walker in that situation unless they're like desperately calling for help. And, you know, pushing your lane here would have been really big. Pocket is really good in this, you know, super mobile assassin role, but you should be doing that to facilitate doing objectives. Right now, this is almost just more mindless killing. And even though, you know, you're getting a lot of these kills and they're really good fights, and, you know, this one over here ended up getting this Guardian. If you would have just stayed in this right lane, you would have had this this Walker down by now, and the Walkers are much harder to get than the Guardians. So just be careful how much time you spend just milling around killing, and then also how much you prioritize camps. This wave here is way more value than that camp. Okay, you're gonna end up getting probably most of it, but I would imagine you lost a few minions there just from the from your minions clashing. Definitely should have stayed here and cleaned up this wave before going back. Whether going back or not was the right option. This wave was right here. This is free money left on the ground, and then also it helps to push quite a bit. The push on this side of the lane is really nice. Let's see, you bought. Pause really quick, yeah. Get to 3K. So, yeah, getting one more push here would have been really nice. You would have made it back to this fight, but also you have this teleporter. So if we're running the urn and that's the play, everyone's going to end up over there. It can be really nice to push out this wave. I mean, threaten the walker, try to get someone over here to fight, and then you can make the decision of, okay, do I need to help contest this urn? You know, did they pull all their resources, and are we losing the fight? Or, oh, we got a pick, we're winning this fight, they don't need me over here, you can just take this walker for free. You know, you want to spend and you want to buy, and I get that, but I think that at the very least you should have taken this wave of minions. And you probably could have waited to go back and buy. Especially because I believe you pick up silence here. Which is a really good item. I would have liked Warpstone more, I think. So silence, and I see it's an item on your build, so it's a good one, but I kind of want to have someone that I'm actively worried about when I pick up silence, or like an exceptional target, and this Geist is a really good target, but I think it's just a little early for silence, and it's not giving you as much as, I mean, Warpstone is another active, but it's also very strong. Veil Walker is really, really good. Especially if you know where the Veils are. So, okay, you trade this, the urn for the Walker there, which I think it's your team fighting here. They should have been able to stop that Walker, but that's a fine trade. I don't mind it at all. Showing up here after the fact, they're not going to push. Everyone doesn't need to be here to farm those minions. With the new changes, having 2 people there to farm minions is really nice. And you shouldn't be here in this fight. This is... You should be fighting under the Walker. It is nice that you got a 4-man ult, and you're probably going to push them away from this. But it was kind of exceptionally risky. I mean, it was really well played, but they took the Walker anyway. Like, you probably would have been better off staying with your teammates, trying to push this other Walker, or trying to make something else happen. Because, you know, you have all these kills, and, I mean, you're doing amazing in all these fights. We'll skip through this pause. You're doing amazing in all these fights, but the game... You don't win the game by killing the enemy team. You kill the enemy team to facilitate the other things you need to do in the game. So when you're killing the enemy team, you should think, why am I killing these players? What is the purpose of it? Is it so that I can push their Guardian in lane? Great. Is it to get them off the map for a minute? Also excellent. You know, are you defending your own buildings and they need to die, otherwise they're going to take the building? Also good. But if you are, you know, here they had already taken the Walker, you weren't stopping that. So pretty sad. They DC'd for about a minute, which is not the end of the world, but you know, it was a little sad they couldn't get the pause going there. But that's neither here nor there. So here, a lot of the waves are getting pushed back. We have 3K, so we're going to buy. I would have just bought it at the secret shop here. Don't sleep on this being an option, because grabbing the secret shop, grabbing this lane, coming back doing this lane is just a lot faster than coming all the way back. Improved burst, excellent option. Let's see. Oh, different icon for Spirit Life, still looking a little weird there. So this Walker's already dead. They couldn't defend it, but your presence here isn't helping anything. The death timers at this point of the game just aren't long enough for these random chase kills to matter. And if you were in one of these other lanes pushing a structure, you would be having so much more of an impact. No one can 1v1 you. I mean, probably the Abrams can, but there was a good period of this game where you were extremely strong, where I would like to see you trying to split push some of these waves and trying to get these objectives down. And if they pull one person to you, you can fight them. If they pull two people to you, you can leave. No one can catch you. So just try to focus more on doing objectives than just trying to run in there and fight all the time. And that's the biggest thing I see in these lower ranked lobby games is typically very good mechanical ability, but just not good map awareness. So we chase this fight. This race says, okay, we're only farming. I think that was in team chat, but actual ridiculous comment there, because first off, our Amber team, they defended this walker pretty successfully. With the walker, it's pretty strong. You can sometimes defend it, down a couple players, but Infernus pushed all the way up here, almost took this Guardian. Abrams came here and took this walker. That was exceptional for the blue team. And Wraith's, upset because they died, but your team spent all the you wasted all this time killing one player and then not getting an objective, while the blue team was doing objectives on the map, which is what I want to see you doing exactly what this Abrams is doing what this Infernus is doing. Who's going to come and stop this Infernus at this point? He's gotten pretty big. My guess is he has toxic bullets. Yep, he picked up Ricochet, so he's better in a team fight, but he clears these waves so fast.
I see 7.
But he pushes this up, he moves over here. Now Frill's pulled back again, and I'm probably beating a dead horse a little bit here, but you're just fighting over nothing. What's happening in this fight? What are we gonna win? What are we gaining? It's not a defense of the structures, because you're not on the structures. If you are defending your structures, you should be fighting under them as much as possible, because it's a lot of damage, it's a lot of help. And it's nice being closer to your base so people can go and heal. But here, there's just a bunch of random fighting here, and then Infernus went, okay, I'm not going to chase you. There's no reason to do that. I'm going to do the objectives. Infernus does die for it, but just be kind of cognizant of that. If you're defending the structures, defend the structures. Don't fight all the way up here in the middle of the lane over nothing. Use your structures to your advantage. Sometimes it is nice to fight up there, but just be a little careful of that. So they want to run the urn. I don't think they should be running the urn here. I think this is extremely aggressive, and I like that your team rotates over. You could have considered coming into this second lane. You're really fast with your Majestic Leap and your teleport and whatnot, so you can push this and then still be a part of this fight. It's not going to end in 2 seconds, and if you're not here, it's not like the world's going to end. But being able to push this up and then to rotate over is really nice. Furthermore, if you were here pushing this, you would have pressure on the walker, but also you could have come back here for this lash. This is a 5v6 over here. You should be able to leave this as a 5v5, and your team should be able to win it. You don't need to necessarily be there to to guarantee the win. You have to kind of trust your teammates that they can win this 5v6, and I would rather you be back here winning this 1v1. So, just a little bit of an overcommitment here over the urn, and obviously you don't want to give them the urn for free, but I think that that fight was decisive, incredibly so. You didn't need to be there for that. No way. If you would have come here, pushed these minions, look at how good the minions did without a push. They're almost taking the walker by themselves. You could have pushed this wave, maybe gotten this, and then you could have come back here and stopped Lash. Absolutely disagree with this Wraith. Shrine, structures, that was excellent. I don't think they should have ran the urn in the first place. If they would have come over here with the urn, seen your presence, and then just backed off, or just, kind of dragged on the fight a little bit longer, that Lash would have gotten it for free, and they wouldn't have lost the urn. They could have just dropped it and walked away. It was an overcommitment to the urn that I didn't like from the blue team. I think that Lash made an excellent decision. So I like the team pushing here. You don't need to be a part of this walker. I want to see you spread out a little bit more. So you've taken the walker. You know, you get pulled in. Nice job leaving. Come over, take this walker. You don't need to be a part of this fight anymore. It's 5v5. You can come over and just take this for free. I don't think your team should be fighting in general, but you know, don't tunnel vision so hard on these fights to where this is a free objective that can be taken. Lash does an excellent job. We saw him here just for a second, but he left the fight, came over, stopped the walker from being taken, and then came back to the fight. Geist gets here a little bit late, so you end up getting that walker, but you know, these are the things where you could be pulling your team so much further ahead by getting these buildings so much faster. You don't need to be a part of all these random fights over nothing. And if your team has enough players to do an objective, like they had plenty of people to do that walker, you don't need to be there. You guys have the rejuve. Let's get all these lanes pushing. Let's get ready to push into the base. You know, coming in here with 6 people, this isn't typically how you win games. And here, you need to have communication with your team. Say, hey guys, pull back. You know, I'm backing to buy. I don't mind you backing to buy. I don't like the team being all the way up here. But the way you win decisively, so you could win like this, sure. All 6 of you could run in, you could get a team wipe, and then you win the game. But that isn't... The way you win decisively and safely is you push everything. They should have backed up, and we should have spread out and started pushing everything. Don't fight. There's no reason to fight up there. Just get everything pushed, rotate around, and get everything up here. And then once everything's up here, if a fight like this breaks out, they're losing crazy. If you had, imagine this same situation where you kill 3, it's a 3v2, or I'm sorry, it was a 3-on-4, but you have all the minions pushed up. Imagine how bad that is for them. You start taking everything, and it's a nightmare. But here, instead, you win a fight, and you're ahead on people, especially because you have the rejuve. Your people are coming back faster, and you're here cleaning waves up. It's just these, you know, you fought a little too soon. And that happens. You're maybe a little bit too pushed up there, but you know, not after you lost a few people, maybe you should have backed up a little bit harder. I like you cleaning up the waves, but this is really just some macro decision making here that that I didn't care for, and they're doing a good job cleaning up their waves here. So just, you know, if you're taking away one thing from this, and we'll go over it at the end, of course, focus more on the objectives of the game. And if you're going for a fight or for a gank or to kill somebody, you know, try to think what's the point of this? What is this going to facilitate? Because really, unless it's late into the game, killing an enemy player, they don't stay dead long enough for it to matter. And they're not worth that many souls. So you really need to be doing these objectives. And you know, this is the best thing you've done recently, is just coming over here, pushing this wave. Push this next one too. You know, it's right here. Get this really moved up, and then come over to this fight. I don't think your team should be fighting here. This is a bit of a throw. Once those 2 die, don't go over there. There's nothing for you over there. This is maybe a little bit too aggressive. I said that I did want you split pushing, and there were a lot of times in this game where it would have been really good. Right now, you are down 3 players, so just be careful being on their side of the map. They're, you know, if they start staggering you and picking you off one at a time because this Mo and Krill's a little bit too far up, it makes the defense really, really hard. So we'll see. A lot of these games crumble that way, where, you know, I don't know why Mo and Krill's up here. He needs to be helping you guys clear these waves, so we need to get all this pushed back. But Mo and Krill dies, and then it's a 5v6, and then maybe Dynamo dies. You know, here you're pushing up, but again, you're down 3 players, and you don't know where anyone on their team is. All right, Geist is here, but they're running the urn. Be really careful overcommitting to these kinds of fights. looks like no one even shows up, but look at how many green items this Abrams have. You're not killing him, and if you are killing him, it's not going to be fast enough to where reinforcements couldn't show up. So I would be really wary about seeing players. You know, that Abrams was really far up. He was confident for a reason. That could have been a really scary situation. Here, I think you need to give him the urn, and this is a call you have to make with your whole team to say, hey, this isn't a good fight. We have, you know, our base is getting pushed in. You shouldn't fight over that urn. They ended up delivering it. They killed 2 of you guys. You know, them getting the urn isn't the end of the world. Yeah, it sucks, but you know, you guys all dying is the end of the world. The urn isn't what, you know, loses that game. It's that 4 of you die trying to defend it when your base is in shambles. You know, Hayes was over here 1v1 in Geist, which is fine, but you know, your waves are pushed up. You just need to, you know, collect the defense, get everything pushed out, and then, you know, give them the urn. It's not that big of a deal. Then you can, you know, make a counter offensive. Your fighting and your engagements is all excellent. I mean, you're a really exceptional pocket player. It's just these macro decisions, and that's just the biggest thing with these lower ranked games is it's just the macro decisions are just a little lacking, and you see from the enemy team that and it only takes one player, really, 1 or 2 players making these correct, smart decisions to swing this game. This Abrams has done a really good job pushing and defending waves where they make sense. So, like, right now, the enemy team is doing the boss. We just heard it. Abrams came back here to clear this wave. 1, he doesn't do that much damage to the boss. He's not that much of an asset there. And they think that they have it under control. They have Lash there. It's pretty good. But, you know, Abrams comes back here. He clears this wave. That's why he has all this farm. That's why he's getting so much stronger. Yeah, I don't love him fighting up here. This might be a situation where doing the wrong thing with the team can be better than doing the correct thing alone. I don't know. Hard to say. Bebop gets out of there. So, yeah, I don't mind your choice at all. I think that was kind of a dumb fight to take. They have Rejuvenator. They got super minions. Everything needs to get pushed back. And this could be a situation where you need to try to communicate with your team. Hey, try not to fight. Back up. Should stop sticking a couple people with your ult there. That really helps with the defense. You kind of have to be proactive with that, just because of how it does its damage. But yeah, they cleaned that one up. So let's get over to the end game scoring. I'll pop up in my notepad and jot a couple things down. Okay, so looking at this end game scoring and kind of some notes that I took, there's 3 main things that I'm going to try to get you to focus on. The first one, and this is kind of a small point, but when you're in lane and you're that far ahead, try to focus on getting those crates and those other little objectives that you can be getting in the laning phase. So there's a lot of crates in those golden jars that you can just grab really quick during your downtime. And I mean, we're talking percentage points here, but that stuff really adds up, and it's nice to think about. And your lane was so dominant. 2 is when you fight, you really need to have a reason why you're fighting, why you're killing that person. Try to think about that before you decide to go for it, and you know, the focus on doing objectives and whether you are destroying their buildings or defending your buildings. And try to facilitate that more. There were a lot of times where you're going and ganking players that, while it is nice to kill them and stop them from being able to farm, especially in the early game, you're typically better off trying to get an objective, and if they come to stop you, then you kill them because it lets you get the objective. Or if they're pushing hard into one of your structures, you know, kill them to stop them from taking your structure. But don't just, you know, Abrams is in the middle of a lane farming. There's no reason to go over there and kill him. The risk reward just doesn't make sense. If you kill him, okay, great. You could have been farming and you'd have the same amount of souls. But if he turns around and kills you, you wasted a bunch of time. He was doing what, you know, he was already farming, so it's not like he lost souls rotating over to you to look for a fight. You were the one that wasted time looking for him. So just be careful about those. And then the third thing is going to just macro and just comms in general. I don't get the voice comms here, so it's entirely possible that everyone on your team is doing a great job with voice comms, but based on what I saw, I would anticipate probably not, especially because you typed a few times. The first thing is get a mic and turn it on. It's a little scary. It kind of sucks to sometimes be that guy talking, and you all know that sometimes there's that guy talking and trying to be the shot caller, and you just don't want to listen to him. But far and away, the communication that I've had in this game with my teams, 95% super positive. Just a bunch of people sitting down, trying to play a game and have fun and win, do their best. So get on those comms and make those, try to make those calls where your team went to fight them after they took the bus and you wisely said, this isn't a fight we should take. We got to back up into our lanes. Try to communicate that. It doesn't always work, but these calls, making these correct decisions, I mean, that would have extended that game. If your team doesn't fight there and you get to mount a 6v6 defense, who knows what would have happened. The other thing is that, and this is kind of, with point two, push these structures. If you have more than 3 people in a squad on the map, kind of question why we need more people than that. I think a 6v6 fight in this game is typically a little bit of an overcommitment, unless it's like doing boss or winning the game earned to a lesser degree. But if you're fighting over a walker, like, do you really need 6 people there taking that walker? If you have 3 people there doing the walker and 3 people on the map doing something else, fighting another walker, pushing into a lane, pushing all the waves forward, you can create a lot more pressure on the map and get a lot more objectives done. Try to think how many objectives your team can be doing at once than just having 6 people, make a big wedge trying to get one lane going. That's not typically how you close out games. Try to get everything pushed. If you have a bunch of people fighting on the map, think, okay, well, what objective could I be doing? They're fighting over something. They're going to defend that walker. Could I be pushing another walker? Could I be defending a lane? So try to just, don't be scared to be the split pusher guy. It might not be the most fun thing in the world, and we saw that this Wraith on their team complained about their teammates split pushing. So you can be fighting against that, but honestly, I think that the Abrams and the Lash were making excellent choices there. Doing a really good job. You don't need 6 people defending that urn in a fight that they lost anyway. They lost that fight, but Lash got a bunch of objectives. It wasn't a trade for that urn. That urn was already gone. You guys committed everybody to do that urn. If they would have had a couple other people peel off and they tried to turn that urn in with 3 people, but other people on the map were taking structures and stuff, I mean, that would have been a slaughter, even though you guys would have secured the urn. So be careful about those overcommitments and try to calm when you notice things like that are happening. Because if you on your team you can become the macro god and make all the best decisions, and this Haze, I'm just picking on someone at random, is totally head empty but is really good at playing Haze, just telling her, hey, let's not take that fight, can you please push that wave? You are now using all of your knowledge to win the game, and this Haze doesn't need to think. She just needs to shoot her gun and hit her ultimate, but she's making the correct decisions because you helped her make them. Thanks for sending in the replay. I know we had a little bit of a back and forth about getting it out there, but I'm glad we finally did. If anyone else out there has a replay they want me to take check out, take a look at, check the comments below. There's some instructions there. I have a few replays already in my backlog, but please send them in. I love seeing them, and it's great fun to do. Remember, like the video, subscribe to the video. Subscribing to the channel really helps a lot. I know you hear this from all those YouTubers, but there's a reason they say it, is because it's incredibly helpful. And thanks a lot for hanging out. You guys, good luck out there.